Sophie Baker was from Bavaria, Germany. She had 3 older brothers and 2 younger sisters. She was 16 years old and was living with schizophrenia. They took her from her home and sent her to an institution in Brandenburg, Germany. She was subjected to medical experimentation by a Nazi medical doctor before being gassed in 1941. She wrote a letter to her mother and father in 1940 from the institution. Dearest mother and father, you will not believe what has happened to me over the time I've been away. When they came to get me, I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. So we got to this institution, and there were other sick people there too. We mainly cleaned and stayed in our assigned room with special numbers. After the second day, they barely fed us, and we always cleaned. I knew better not to complain because we'd get whipped for complaining. I am always hungry and tired. I get so happy when we get to go into our rooms and sleep because that is the only peace we get. I'm begging you, mother and father, to come get me. I don't think this is too far from where we live. I thought about running away, but I also thought about what might happen to me. People who would complain and never clean got sent to these 2 rooms in the back of the institution, and we'd never see them again. I'm going to guess that they are killed. Mother, please come and get me. I feel weak, tired, and soon they will eventually kill me.
Tobias Saakashvili was born on May 22, 1916, in the city of Innsbruck, Austria. He was born with a condition that made him disabled from the waist down. Tobias's father, Daniel Saakashvili, was a carpenter. He served in World War I. Tobias's mother, Anneliese Seely, was an elementary music teacher. She served in World War I as a nurse for the Austrian-Hungary military. He was living in an institution in Durban, Austria. With the help of a friend, he escaped from the institution when he heard rumors of Nazi experimentations on the disabled. During the Holocaust, he went into hiding in his friend Liam's house. Tobias's parents escaped from Austria to Palestine. He survived the Holocaust, during which he gained a new understanding of life and pursued his passion for music. Tobias graduated from Kelly Music School in Vienna, the capital of Austria. Tobias then went on to the University of Music and Performing Arts Vienna. His major was music. After he graduated from the university, he went on to be a classical pianist. Tobias performed around Austrian famous music theaters. In 1952, he finally got the chance to perform at Burger Theater, known in Austrian as Theater an der Burg. Burger Theater is one of the most famous musical theaters in all Europe. Dear Mother and Father, this part of my life has been some of the most dreadful times in my 25 years of my existence. It was sad when we parted ways, but under the circumstances that I am living under, and I had no other choice. I wonder how you guys are doing in Palestine. I've heard from a friend that there's chaos going on there. At least it is nothing like what's going on here in Austria. People are being dragged out of their homes for not being what the Nazis proclaim a biologically pure race. In case you are wondering, I am writing this letter from Liam's attic. Liam is a friend I met at the University of Music and Performing Arts. He is a pianist just like me. Liam is pure German, and they haven't suspected him of anything, so his home has not been searched. I do not understand why the Nazis are doing these horrible acts. Why? I ask myself every time I am about to go to sleep. Well, anyhow, I am doing well, getting good amounts of food, and also reading lots of books. It's incredible what kind of books Liam has, and here I thought he was an idiot. I am reading this book by George Orwell called Coming Up for Air. It is about a guy who tries to recapture his past. It makes me want to go back to how things were without these Nazis. I've heard from some stuff about what the Nazis are doing in the camps and who is going there. First, all of the people who are being sent to work camps and concentration camps are Jews, gypsies, homosexuals, people who have disabilities, Jehovah's Witnesses, political prisoners, and prisoners of war. All of these people are considered not of pure biological race. They drag down Germany and are the reason why Germany lost World War I. The people who are suffering the most are the Jewish people. They are the most hated people in Germany for reasons I do not know. What did the Jews do? Why are they being treated like animals, or even worse than animals? The Nazis say that the reason for this is that the Jews are behind the defeat of World War I. The Jews are greedy and stole the money of the German people, and they are subhumans that shouldn't live in the ideal German society. Mom, Dad, I think the worst part of it is that people believe in all of these Nazis' messages. I've heard from some people what the conditions are in the concentration camps are like, and I can't believe that people are doing this and that God is letting this happen. I have heard about how the war is going. On the radio, the Nazis lie and say everything is going well. Well, that ain't the truth. Homely, our dear family friend, is telling me all the war stories and updates of how the war is going. He spent time in the Battle of Stalingrad, but was eventually pulled out so the Germans can send in special forces. He told me that the Germans are losing their battle with the Soviet Union. He wrote in a letter that both sides suffered great amounts of casualties, but the German side have suffered more. I hope this war ends soon. I want to go back to how my life was before the Nazis took over. I can't wait until the war is over so we can rebuild our lives. The genocide that is taking place in Europe must be known. When it is known, the image of Germany will never be repaired. One thing that keeps making me sad is that the suffering people are going through in the concentration camps. The Nazis gassed people and cremate them, or worked and starved them to death. The persecution of people with a disability really makes me sad and angry. As a person with a disability, by being paralyzed from the waist down, the Nazis send most people with disabilities to an institution and do experiments on them. They sometimes starve them and give them medications to see how they will react. The part that frustrates me is why they are doing this and why are they doing it like this. If the Nazis want to kill the people they described as being biologically not pure, then why don't they shoot us? Why must they torture and humiliate the people? What does being biologically pure race mean, or master race mean? Does that mean that 99% of the world are not master race? Or does it mean that they're not equal with the Nazis and should be exterminated? Surely that will never happen, and that is the reason the Nazis will be defeated. Well, Mom and Dad, this will be the last letter this month. I will write to you guys next month. As soon as the war is over, I will join you guys in Palestine. Till then, bye.
Ileana Judith Litz is a blind Jewish girl who was impacted by the Holocaust. She writes a letter to her cousin Amy, who she hasn't seen for 5 years. She barely remembers Amy, but contacts her after the concentration camps were liberated, since they were the only two surviving members of their entire family. This is her letter. Dear cousin Amy, you may not remember me, so I will introduce myself. Hello, my name is Ileana Judith Litz, and I am blind. I am 9 years old now. I was born in Munster, Germany, and I lived in a small house with my mother, Judith, and my father, Akiva. My family and I were taken to Buchenwald in 1942 when we were sent to a train car. About 83 people were shoved into the car. That was very uncomfortable, but it would have been the best thing in the world if we only knew what was in store for us past the gate. When everyone got off the train, they separated us in different groups. First group, the men and young boys. 2, the women and young girls. 3, the weak and the old. That was what I was told. I do not know what the camp looks like or the people in it, but I do know the smell was very awful. But I was placed with my mother when they examined everyone, and then they noticed that I was blind. They pulled me aside while they examined other people. When they were done examining everyone, they gathered up all the people they pulled aside, and they talked to us. Some got to take showers. I wish I could have taken a shower. I have been experimented on by scary people they call doctors. They have tried to bring my vision back, but they failed. All I can remember from that is the pain. I wish I could have been rescued sooner. I have lost both my eyes, which means I have no eyes at all. The camp was shut down in 1944. I was informed of what was going on. The showers were actually a dark place. People were gassed with poison. They killed many young children and elderly people in the showers because they were not able to work. I was saved to be experimented on. There were hundreds of young children like me that were tortured, so I was there for 2 years with little food and water. We have worn the same clothes. I am very filthy with lice. How I wish for a nice warm bath with fresh, clean clothes, but if you get the chance to read this, I would like for you to let people know what happened behind the gates. I have not went through as much things as many other prisoners have gone through. I would like to thank you for taking your time to read this. Love always, Ileana.